It's just not fair. I too am a victim. A white, heterosexual Christian male with advanced degrees who served in the military. And historically, if there were any massacring to be done, my ancestors were quite willing to do the massacring. And that's why I too am a victim. It means I'm excluded. Excluded from the ranks of the morally superior. I'm excluded from the sympathy of strangers. Talk shows never want to hear my story. Politicians don't rush to support me. No Twitter storm on my behalf. I'm even held accountable for my own actions. I can't evade responsibility with a playground cry of, "It wasn't me, a big boy did it and ran away." And all that makes as much sense as many claims to victimhood today. And there are many, because being a victim has an important social cachet amongst progressives. Victimhood is attractive, and not just because you get all manner of media celebrities on your side. Think of it. If you're a victim, you're not responsible and need never be held responsible for what happens in your life. It's always someone else's fault. You're always morally in the right. You're forever entitled to sympathy. You can be constantly aggrieved. And, most attractive of all, you're always justified in feeling moral indignation for being wronged. Victimhood is so attractive that victims pop up everywhere, even among the ranks of the most cosseted. Take the Rhodes Must Fall children and their tender sensibilities. Some students at Oxford University are demanding the removal of a statue of Cecil Rhodes, colonialist and major benefactor of Oriel College. So emotionally frail are these children that the mere sight of an aggressive statue does violence to them. One of the supersensitive children protesting the statue is actually a Rhodes Scholar, someone who's gained access to one of the world's leading universities thanks to the largesse of Cecil Rhodes and his scholarship fund. Clearly, Rhodes' money is acceptable, just not the donor. At one time, your victimhood had to be earned, either by being a member of a class of victims or by something actually happening to you that was bad. But today we have a third class, the victims of history. If something happened to someone else a long time ago, you can feel bad, distressed, or even a victim just by thinking about it, or being told it happened. Ludicrous as they are with their demands for historical revisionism, these pampered children are merely one more symptom of the destruction of the individual as a responsible adult. In the place of adults, we see the rise of the infantilized adult child, the pampered student who demands constant protection from anything which might upset, offend, or trigger disturbing emotions. They demand protection from reality. These are the coddled, cosseted and comfortable children who have the enormous privilege of studying in our most prestigious institutions of learning. Their teachers are world leaders. They have the opportunity of expanding their knowledge and understanding given to only a tiny privileged minority. Yet, unable to find anything in their own experience to be aggrieved about, they appropriate and piggyback on the suffering of others. In this case, blacks exploited in colonial South Africa more than a century ago. This appropriation of the sufferings of others is commonplace. Young Western-born Muslims claim to be angered by the Crusades of 1,000 years ago. Irish Americans are emotionally disturbed by mythical "No Irish Need Apply" posters, which never actually existed in the USA. There is an unfillable yet steady demand for reparations for a slavery which ceased a century and a half ago. This determination to define oneself by one's historical victimhood is ludicrous. Instead of taking charge of shaping one's own identity and destiny, they see themselves as victims shaped by circumstance, by forces totally beyond their control. They are the hapless ones who must be protected from reality. And the truly frightening thing? these supersensitive, cosseted adolescents, products of our elite universities, they will be our political, cultural, educational and business elites in a decade or two. We're witnessing the sidelining in Western society of individuals willing to take responsibility for their own actions, those who carve out their own place in life, who refuse to allow circumstances to dictate their being. The retreat of Christianity has a far greater impact on society than a reduction in church attendance. We've forgotten that we all stand as individuals answerable to God, and we won't be able to say to him, "It wasn't me, a big boy did it," and run away.